Super Squad D Live Show. Starring Joseph Craven, Tyler Blunt, and tonight's guest, the Queen of Romance, Jane Austen.
Alright, welcome to the Super Squad D Live Show. His name is Juan Miguel.
And that's Goo Goo Dolls frontman Johnny Resnick.
And we are the Super Squad D Live Show.
Where the D stands for
Devotion. So
yes.
glad to have you guys here on a nice Valentine's evening.
Absolutely.
If you're single, this is definitely the place to be tonight. We're just hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah.
It's a safe place where you can make friends, maybe meet some lovers.
Yeah. If you're not single, if you're in a relationship, then this is the perfect date night show. I mean,
really
bring your significant other in the room.
Yeah,
Why not?
It's the best.
Why not?
If you're watching this after Valentine's Day, well, I hope it was a memorable one in that you didn't break up with your loved one. Because that would be terrible.
That's basically
Who
it.
would wish that on someone?
Quick shout out to our sponsor tonight, Planet Express. Planet Express. Our crew is replaceable. Your package isn't. Thank you,
so true. Thanks, Planet Express. We appreciate that. And hey, if you're new to our channel, or you've just been hanging out for a while, consider hitting that subscribe button down below and like this video. It goes a long way, and we'd really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to everyone who's in the live chat. Of course, there's about a 30-second delay, but we're keeping up with everyone who's in there, and we are excited to see. We've already got a few of our friends from across the pond.
That's right.
Hanging out in the live chat. Man, it's going to be a good night. Going to be a really, really good night.
Solid night. Well, it's Valentine's Day.
Right.
You smell that? That's love, my friend.
That
love is in the air.
Stanky.
Speaking of love,
Yeah.
I think about comic book characters, and I think about, when I think about love, I think about comic book characters.
Smoothest segue you'll ever see on a live show.
And in those comic book characters, I think about the best couples. Mm-hmm. We've got some right here in front of us.
We got several of them. We were going through trying to do some research on who fans have considered to be the best comic book
power couples.
Exactly. And
Joseph and Tyler were at the tip top of that chart.
Number one, which is funny because we've never been drawn into a comic book.
No, it's true. Hey,
yet.
Before we go on, I just want to point out I'm wearing this awesome shirt that my wife got me. Surely not everybody was kung fu fighting.
He's very proud of
himself. I really am. I'm so happy.
It's the best thing to come out of that relationship. No, that was harsh. I'm sorry. I felt bad about it.
Really? Really?
Shut it down.
Shots fired.
Let's get out of here. Some of the all-star couples, of course, that we have over here on my end of the desk. I mean, obviously, you've got Hulk and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. She loves her some Hulk.
Shame that relationship didn't work out, like most of Scarlett's relationships, which is a real shame.
Shots fired.
You've got Colossus and a significantly younger woman.
Yeah, Kitty Pryde.
Right. Who you got over there, Tom?
Over here, I've got the number one power couple of all time, Tommy Oliver and Kimberly, whose last name I don't remember.
I'm just impressed you remembered Tommy's last
name. Tommy Oliver is the greatest Power Ranger of all time. I know Tommy Oliver. If you know me, you know I know my Power Rangers lore. Who's going to be there opening night? Me. To the new movie.
I was going to say opening night of...
things.
Just anything.
We got Batman and Catwoman here. Mm-hmm. Very, very popular couple. Over here on the couch, in a warm embrace.
Yeah.
We've got Spider-Man and Black Cat.
Get a room, you two.
So, who are some of y'all's favorite characters? I'd love to know. Let us know in the chat who some of your favorite power couples are from comics.
We've gotten a few reactions already.
Okay, what we got? Hit me with it.
Ricky C. has said, when the Green Ranger steals Kimberly from Jason. That was it.
Jason never deserved to be with Kimberly.
That was it.
She was destined to be.
He didn't actually finish the sentence.
Well, it's fine. She was destined to be with Tommy.
Our friend Toby, of course, said Batman and Robin is his favorite comic book couple.
Well, that's an interesting relationship, Toby, and we don't have time on this show to get into those dynamics, but we're glad you brought it up.
Yeah, thank you. Spider-Man over there reminds me in particular of what was really going to be our main topic for the evening. And it involves our childhood, really, more than anything else.
Yeah.
Of course, if you grew up like we did in the 90s, you got to enjoy the glory that was the animated 90s Spider-Man cartoon show.
It was fantastic.
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 We hinted at it last week when we were discussing live-action superhero shows.
Yeah.
But in the 90s, really cartoon superhero shows were... I mean, they were in their prime. They were the thing to watch.
Yeah.
I remember after school, rushing home, make sure you catch... Power Rangers, Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman, the animated series.
That's at the top of the good series.
Yeah, I think it might be my personal favorite one. And even, of course, Dragon Ball Z was really reaching us.
Toonami kind of got going there.
Yeah, Toonami did. It just was... Oh, man, those were the glory days.
They were. Leading up to this discussion, we just kind of started talking about what some of our favorite comic book and really just cartoon shows in general growing up were. And we did a little bit of a poll. We asked some of you before this show.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of good responses.
Yes.
Do you want to read some of those responses?
I'll go through some of the responses.
Yeah.
We have, of course, let's see, Jay Lewis said Batman the Animated Series.
It's a good one, Jay.
Greater than anything else. He put the greater than sign in there. I'm tempted to agree. It was probably my favorite out of all of them. I watched...
it was nearly flawless.
Yeah. I distinctly remember one episode in which... I'm trying to remember if it was a flashback to the origin of Two-Face, if maybe that's what it was. Something happened to Harvey Dent, and I just distinctly remember Batman standing over his body, I guess, and going, Harvey! And it was not sad at all. It was a moment that was ruined by this,
Batman.
Love it,
Pshaw.
Love the show. Harvey!
That's a really good impression.
Thank you. Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, some people love that.
Yep.
We got a G.I. Joe, little classic G.I. Joe and Transformers from the 80s. See,
absolutely.
When I grew up, I was a child of the 90s, but I really started watching cartoons in the late 80s. And so right when I hit about the 4 to 5 mark was at the explosion that was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
An absolute legendary show.
Literally one of the best shows. And so I've always had a Ninja Turtles love ever since then. And that really just catapulted me into today. What I know and love about all shows really stems back to Turtles.
Which makes it really difficult for Tyler to critique any show now because he just compares it to Turtles.
Everything is a comparison to Turtles and nothing holds up.
Nothing really lives
up. The new
to
Turtle show is actually pretty good.
That's what I've heard.
I like it on Nickelodeon. You guys watch that show? If you watch that show, let me know.
Are we waiting for a response? We're not waiting for a response. That's my bad. I misread the vibe there.
No, we weren't waiting for a response.
That's on me.
Yeah, that was shameful.
So what do you think it was that drew you to Turtles in particular?
I was 4 and fighting ninjas were really cool. That's what drew me to Turtles. As I got older, I think about different blocks of shows came on and offered different things. So you have a Disney block that really hit me hard with DuckTales. Woo!
And that was mentioned in the Facebook.
Was it?
Yeah, when you sent out requests for, hey, what were your favorites? DuckTales was definitely mentioned. I remember that one.
That's fantastic. DuckTales, Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers.
Chip and Dale.
And you remember Tailspin?
Absolutely.
Tailspin was good.
Tailspin.
All of those Disney era shows at the time really captivated
You didn't even mention Darkwing Duck.
Oh, the best for last.
The first video game that I ever beat was the NES Darkwing Duck. When I was 5 or something, and I beat the game, and I felt so excited.
Did you fight Negaduck in that game?
I don't remember anything other than the feeling of beating it and the ending cinema scene, best that they had in NES back then.
That was a great show. When There's Trouble, You Call DW. I remember one time I was in the hospital. I was sick a lot as a kid, and I really wanted a Darkwing Duck action figure, and the lady who used to babysit me, Miss Brooks was her name, she was so awesome. And she went to 8 toy stores because it was at the height of the Darkwing Duck craze. Yeah. And they were all sold out, and I got it. And I just remember being so happy, sitting in the hospital, just overjoyed with a Darkwing Duck figure. Still have that figure to this day. Nice. And Miss Brooks, if you're watching, which I can only imagine you are, thank you.
Wow. You have a lot of faith in her.
She's not watching.
One of my original action figures that I played with a lot as a kid was Raphael.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Turtles. That was a transforming one. So like you could open up the shell and you tuck in his appendages and you put out little fake like plastic wobbly turtle appendages and a turtle head.
Naturally.
Yeah. And I don't know why I loved that one so much. But I loved it so much that years later, I guess I was in college maybe, they like reissued that figure.
Whoa. You went to college?
I mean,
and you're doing this show?
I didn't finish.
No, okay.
But they reissued the figure, and I had to rush to the stores and buy it, and none of my friends understood why.
I understood.
Exactly. I just wasn't hanging out with the right people.
Well, that's true.
Fell in with a rough crowd.
With a rough non-Ninja Turtle crowd. I also, so there was that block, the Disney block. And then there was the Fox Kids. You guys remember Fox Kids? I know you do. Joseph talked about it a little bit, but like, Saturday mornings on Fox Kids was like Christmas.
Ugh.
So my mom worked a job where she was gone on Saturday mornings. And so I'd wake up on Saturday mornings, my dad'd be like, here's some bagel bites. Have some breakfast. I'd eat bagel bites, and I'd sit down and watch all of the cartoon shows on Saturday morning.
Was there anything better than the 90s?
It really wasn't. I don't want to go back to those times. It was really a fantastic and special time to grow up as a child. So I remember watching shows, of course, and these came on in the afternoons too. I remember setting the VHS, if you're old enough to remember VHS, to record the X-Men cartoon show. Mm-hmm. I was blown away by the Dark Phoenix saga. The Phoenix saga and the Dark Phoenix on the X-Men. Because see,
it was unreal.
Those shows really got me into comics. Yeah. I didn't know anything about comics until I started watching Spider-Man and X-Men. And I was like, this is so awesome. And I remember going to a comic book store. We had one in our mall. And my mom bought me some Spider-Man comics. And I thought it was the awesomest thing. I'd never read any of those. I never even really knew much about it. But those shows, Batman, and then certainly X-Men and Spider-Man got me into comics. And I'd record them every day, and every Saturday I'd binge watch them. Well, not really binge, but I'd watch the whole block. It was before then. And then, do you guys remember, let me know if you guys remember this in the comments, if you're watching live or comment down below. Do you remember they had like a Stan Lee Presents hour?
When and it was like, "Hello, true believers."
Excelsior! But they would play like Fantastic Four and Iron Man, which I still contend. I saw someone say this a long time ago, and I totally agree with it. Iron Man the cartoon show, season 2, has the most testosterone-filled intro of any show I have ever seen.
Really?
It's just, I'll sing it for you.
Oh, God. Okay,
you pretend like you're Iron Man.
No, go ahead.
He's just working the whole time. I am Iron Man, and it just said that one line over and over again while he's hammering away with his awesome long 90s hair on a. You need to just go look it up.
Yeah, I have to jump back real quick because you mentioned VHS stuff. I just have to mention that my father, being a very odd man, still has a functioning Betamax machine.
As he should.
So I don't really know why he held on to it. I think he still has a bunch of pirated movies from the 90s.
Wow. Thanks for turning your own father in. Good luck getting out of jail, Mr. Craven.
Yeah. But yeah, the X-Men, the storylines were so in-depth in the X-Men show. That's what really stands out to me, is that they really went in big with those storylines. They had like you mentioned, the Dark Phoenix saga was played out, To me also, I didn't fully understand what comic books were, just same as what you were saying.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man got me into that. My older brother, he loved Spider-Man. He was a big Spider-Man guy, so he owned a whole bunch of Spider-Man comics. And I was kind of like, okay, whatever. But then I would watch that cartoon, and that would just make me go, oh, I need to start reading these comics. These comics are awesome. And so, it was very influential, very influential. I
remember there was one story arc in the Spider-Man cartoon show where Mary Jane died. Mm-hmm. And it turned out that she didn't die, and it was this whole thing. Mm-hmm. But I remember just being blown away and being like, wow, this is real. Yeah. This is crazy hardcore, like, real legit storylines. It was a really great show.
It was. Let's look through some of the live chat comments.
Yeah, we're a little
backed up.
Yeah, we're totally backed up. Being backed up's no good. You gotta stay regular.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about
we got a lot of Batman animated series. I don't know if it's Daisha Holland.
Yeah, Daisha.
Daisha Holland commented Ronin Warriors.
Yeah.
Do you remember Ronin Warriors? I had forgotten until I read that
Ronin
comment.
Warrior was freaking awesome.
I had some Ronin Warriors toys.
Me too.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was such a good show. And that kind of like segues us into the Toonami block of growing up.
Sure.
So if you grew up, and apologies if you grew up before the time period we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I watched Transformers later in life, and it was awesome. And I also really liked, G.I. Joe. I was kind of into, not as much as a kid, but Turtles was like the real 80s cartoon show for me. But I don't know much about cartoon shows back before then. Like, I didn't really get into Super Friends or anything like that. But, man, my stride was Toonami.
Yeah, before
that
we
was
get
my
too
jam.
deep into that, though,
okay, because I'm ready to dive in.
Yeah, because
you go on through.
I mean, you were going 100 miles an hour.
I mean, I'm about
and
to
it's
go
fantastic.
ham.
We don't want to overlook
Appreciate that, Daisha.
because there were some great ones that were mentioned.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Someone has mentioned a lot of the Nicktoons, which is something we haven't touched on yet that we will get on.
We will get
For
to
example, Rocko's Modern Life, one of my personal favorites.
Wow, Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy. And then Real Monsters. Yeah.
Real
that was
Monsters.
one.
What a great and weird show.
So weird. And someone... oh gosh, I'm overlooking it now. Someone brought up Street Sharks, which makes me so happy. Because Street Sharks came around. I mean, maybe my 7th birthday or something like that. I remember was Street Sharks.
I vaguely remember Street Sharks.
Because I still have my Street Sharks toys from my 7th birthday.
Remind everybody what Street Sharks is, because they may not.
Basically, it was an attempt at capitalizing off of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was.
Yeah, exactly. But it was trying to make it more. If Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were 80s and the way they talked and like the stuff, Cowabunga, that was still pretty 80s and all that.
Yeah.
Street Sharks was trying to get into like grunge 90s. So it was guys that were like transformed or whatever into like half man, half shark things. So there's like a bull shark, hammerhead shark.
I don't know why that wouldn't work. It sounds fantastic.
Great white shark, wonderful show that, not surprisingly, didn't last all that long.
Did not last very long.
Does anyone remember Stretch Armstrong also?
Wow, dude.
Yeah, some of those.
It's a good Stretch Armstrong toy.
Yeah. And our friend, Daisha Holland, again.
Yeah, it's actually my friend Tyler. Daisha's his lover's name.
Cool. All right. Mentioned whatever happened to Morph from X-Men the Animated Series. That's my favorite.
I can tell you what happened to Morph.
Episode 1.
Morph died in the beginning, but then he was taken by Mr. Sinister, and Mr. Sinister had programmed him to be evil, and he went and he found Wolverine in the greatest interaction that I've ever seen with Wolverine, where Wolverine confronted by Morph. He sees Morph. Morph transforms into Jean right in front of his eyes, and he goes, "Jean, no! I can't fight you." And I'm like, dude,
you know who it is.
You know it's Morph. You just saw her transform. Fantastic.
A couple other obscure ones mentioned. Pirates of Dark Water.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Bucky O'Hare. Do you remember that?
The rabbit?
Yeah, it was a rabbit that was a pretty blatant ripoff of like Flash Gordon.
I hate Bucky O'Hare.
Okay.
Can I just give you like a 10-second reason why?
Please do.
Because Bucky O'Hare came out and it failed miserably.
It's so bad.
And they almost got to series Usagi Yojimbo. If anyone knows me, you know I love Usagi Yojimbo.
He's got Usagi Yojimbo
books and stuff everywhere. So the thing about it is, it was going to go to series. It was going to be voiced by Jim Cummings, I think.
Probably.
And they did a pilot, and they didn't send it to series because Bucky O'Hare had just failed. Yep. We would be living in an Usagi-filled world if it hadn't been for Bucky O'Hare.
Unless Usagi failed.
No.
I'm just saying, they might.
I didn't want to have to break this whip out too early, but no.
I deserve this.
No.
I deserve this. We got to go back to Toonami now. Dragon Ball Z really set the stage. Ronin Warriors, Dragon Ball Z, all this sort of stuff.
Sailor Moon. Don't even pretend like you didn't love Sailor Moon.
Actually, I didn't.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, so I don't have...
Tuxedo Mask was pretty cool.
I guess.
You wore a tuxedo and a mask, and you had a really original name.
Yeah, exactly.
Tuxedo Mask.
Like, how descriptive. Oh, look, it's Tyler Hoodie over here. Our old friend Tyler Hoodie. So, so Toonami was a brand new thing.
Yeah.
I remember in it...
they had Tom, the mascot, who was portly.
Yes.
Before Tom 2.0, who got muscly.
He did get muscly. And I want to say at some point... Moltar from Space Ghost showed up as a host or something like that.
Maybe.
I mean, it might not have been Toonami. Someone can correct me on this. What was it that Moltar, like a CGI Moltar, showed up as? Someone help me out with that one. But yeah, Toonami was amazing.
It literally changed my life.
For those of us growing up, just regular like suburban kids in America,
right.
It introduced us to an entirely new world.
I got cable TV. We didn't have cable growing up.
Did you finally?
I got cable just
Look
now.
at this guy. He's
Cheers.
Growing up,
Happy Valentine's Day.
So fast. Happy Valentine's Day.
I got cable the day the first episode of Dragon Ball Z aired on Toonami.
Oh.
And my friend was over at my house, and we were flipping through the channels, and we were like, whoa, what is this cartoon show? And I had never seen anything like it, because it was this awesome fighting, powering up, shooting blast. Like, It was, to me at the time, and if you're an anime fan, odds are high you started with something like Dragon Ball Z. Maybe not, but odds are pretty high.
Yeah, it was the gateway drug.
It was my gateway drug for sure. And I just remember being blown away, like, oh my gosh, these cartoon shows are so serious. This is awesome. And then, of course, shows like Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
Oh, Gundam was awesome.
I love Gundam Wing.
And it was so good.
And I've tried to watch other Gundam
Like what? What did you try to
series.
watch? Did you try to watch Gundam Seed?
Try to watch other Gundam series. I don't know what that was.
Gundam Seed is a series, dude.
Okay.
It's another Gundam series.
Thank you. I just don't understand why you said it like that. Because I was like, yeah, I tried to watch you. You tried to watch other things?
I just really
What'd you
upset.
try to watch? Yeah.
Really upset about it.
Nothing to me ever matched Gundam Wing. I can't control him tonight. This is
I've had a lot
terrifying.
of Kickstarter energy drinks.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's just bringing it out on
placement.
We're going to have to blur that out. We're not
Blur this out.
legally allowed to
We're
show.
not. I'm gonna pour. So could you just? Okay. It happened.
Something that I'm glad that people have already mentioned this in the live chat, because it was going to be the next thing I was going to bring up. Reboot.
Oh, Reboot. What a good show Reboot was.
I mean, early days of CGI, you had so many great technological puns.
You did.
About Matrix, everything like that. And then what always stands out to me about Reboot was, it started off and it's like, oh no, a game's coming down and we have to play the game.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
Oh, the Guardian.
By season 2 or 3 or however long it lasted,
Games are gone.
it got really dark.
Yeah,
it was a super dark show.
It really did. Didn't Bob get trapped in the web?
Yeah, I'm pretty
and then
sure.
He made his way back to the computer, but he was never the same. And Enzo the kid,
he grew up and was this really bitter young adult.
He had a bishop eye, right? Like a golden eye.
lost.
This kid lost his eyeball.
Oh my god,
that's awesome.
Reboot was amazing. Thank you for bringing up Reboot, because it's a good, effortless segue. Ricky C has mentioned Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, that was a good one with
my friend. I was having a conversation with my friend Alex the other day, and he just recently went back and rewatched that entire series, and it means so much to him that he still gets overly emotional when he's getting to the end of the series and can't watch it and has to and puts it off for a week or so because he just can't watch it. So
Yusuke. That was a great series.
Yeah. Rurouni Kenshin was mentioned.
Oh man, what a great anime! I love it. And you know what? They just I think they rebooted Rurouni Kenshin. I don't know if it was a movie.
Really?
Maybe it was a movie they just re-released, but.
And perhaps the most important thing that Ricky has brought up, because I don't know if we've talked about it much on the show or not. Samurai Jack.
Oh my!
And that's of course significant because if there's one thing that I'm thankful for with this trend of, the reboot trend is terrible. We need to let it rest, all that sort of stuff.
Let some stuff
but
down.
the bringing stuff back as a limited series, mini series years after it ends or years after they stop making it is great.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of that.
Samurai
and they're doing
Jack.
it with Samurai Jack, which is awesome.
Did you saw the trailer?
Oh yeah.
Did you guys see the trailer? There was blood in the trailer. I was like, wow, Samurai Jack matured like the rest of us.
Yeah.
He grew up fast.
Speaking about, talking about getting dark, and everything. And then he had that sweet beard.
He did. That was a really, really good show.
Yeah.
And that was that came out around the time, I was kind of ending childhood, that era. Just kidding. I never ended childhood. I never grew up.
Let's be honest. We're making a YouTube show about all the action figures, comic books, and cartoons that we love.
It's true. But
no shame.
I really like went like Dexter's Lab. Do you remember that? It was like Dexter's Lab.
Dexter's
I think
Lab.
Powerpuff Girls came out around that time.
Yep.
Samurai Jack.
Yep.
It was a Cartoon Network block.
Yeah.
Do you remember also there was maybe you guys can help out in the comments. There was the WB had their own shows. They had like the Superman animated show, but what network, some network, maybe it was USA, had a Street Fighter and a Mortal Kombat and a Mega Man show.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I vaguely remember those, but I remember really liking them as a kid. But I didn't ever get to watch much of it because it didn't come on Saturday. It came on Sunday.
Yeah, and I feel like, and I could be wrong on this, and I feel like though that maybe that same network is what made like the short-lived things like Earthworm Jim or
maybe so.
some of the shows like that. I could be entirely wrong. I think Earthworm Jim actually might have been Fox as well, but. I mean, there's so many to name that we haven't gotten to, and we're not going to have time to tonight.
We could spend tons of time on it.
Which is why we're probably going to make a part 2 episode.
Yeah, we will revisit
this to keep talking about it. But some of the things that, I think is we need to mention that we haven't yet, that we're going to talk about more in the future. The Tick.
The Tick. Spoon! That was the greatest. And Arthur, who I'm pretty sure was an accountant.
Yeah, he was an accountant.
Love
and he'd go to work wearing his moth suit.
Yeah.
So, just an amazing show that gets overlooked a lot, I think, which is a shame. Mm-hmm. In fact, we were talking about this the other day. It doesn't even have a full series DVD release in America,
no,
right?
Seasons 1 and 2 came out, and they did so poorly they didn't release Seasons 3. But I'm going to buy Seasons 1 and 2, and I'm going to watch them all.
Yeah.
And I'm going to review every one of them.
Absolutely.
In 10-page detail per episode. I'm going to write a thesis on The Tick.
And my personal favorite cartoon, it's at the very least the most influential in my life. Like a lot of the stupid things I say
together on 3.
Are very, very influenced by this. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
My Little Pony.
Ghost, Coast to Coast. That's right. My Little Pony. No,
I misread that horribly.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast. It started. I mean, it started William Street, the company that now has produced so much of the shows that we love, like on Adult Swim. So. If you ever liked Aqua Teen Hunger Force, we wouldn't have gotten Aqua Teen Hunger Force if we didn't have what Space Ghost Coast to Coast had done.
What a good show!
And it's amazing because it had like no budget. It was astonishing what they were able to do with working with nothing.
And they took an old Hanna-Barbera character, Space Ghost,
brilliant,
and just like.
Yeah,
totally came up with the best possible idea.
Love it, and so it's very influential in my life. Like growing up, that was one of the things that it shaped my humor. And so now, when I look at the shows I like, the movies I like, the jokes that I like, it's very much
the
shaped
music
by that.
that you like.
Yeah,
I know you had Space Ghost Coast to Coast musical barbecue.
Yeah, that was actually Cartoon Planet, the more friendly.
Don't touch me.
That was the more friendly. It had Brack. It was the more like kid friendly. Space Ghost was the more adult themed.
Yeah.
And of course, one of the main lead voice actors in that, C. Martin Croker, just recently passed away within the past year. So sad.
2016 got another.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Well, we don't want to get into too much with that because at this point we have to set up our giveaway for the night.
Yes, we do.
Why are we giving stuff away, Tyler?
Happy
we need
to
plug
tell
this.
You. I'm glad you guys are here. First of all, joining us on this sweet Valentines. We give away things simply because we want to encourage positivity and generosity. We want to help you guys and to remind ourselves to think outside of ourselves and to look for ways to help people that we wouldn't normally come in contact with. And so tonight we're going to give away a gift card to InStockTrades.com if you're in the U.S. If you live overseas, you can enter and you will just get money.
Yeah.
You can spend it on whatever you want.
Kind of flipping around the past 2 shows that we've done, the live shows. Mm-hmm. We've given away some books as our live giveaways and done gift cards later in the week. Tonight we're going to do the gift card now, giveaway book later on in the week. So make sure you stay tuned for details on how you can enter to win that as well.
That's right. We're going to drop that towards the end of the episode.
So we're going to look for a giveaway link to sign up for the giveaway will be put out in the live chat in just a minute here.
That's right.
And, again, we do this to encourage you also to go out and be kinder than necessary, kinder than normal to somebody. This is a significant day for me personally. Today would have been my uncle's birthday. He was born on February 14th. He passed away last year. I'm named after the man, and he was the most generous person I know. So at this time of year, I'm just always thinking about how much of a generous impact he had on my life and on the people around him, and wanted to emulate that. And we hope that maybe in some way we can encourage you through giving stuff away to go out and in return be kind to other people.
Definitely.
So we're going to send out that link in a little bit as we watch a little video.
Yeah, so we have our good friend Giovanni from A Week in Geekdom. Man, so cool. We're excited to be able to collaborate with him and his YouTube
Absolutely.
channel. We'll post the link to his channel in the description below once this video goes live. But if you're not subscribed to A Week in Geekdom, go do it. Open up another tab. Don't leave this stream. Open up another tab. Go to his channel and subscribe. You won't be disappointed. He posts awesome reviews of not just comic books, but pops and toys and all kinds of awesome stuff. So go subscribe to his channel. We decided to collaborate for this live show.
Yep.
As a side note, if you're a YouTube creator and you'd like to collaborate with us and you'd like for us to do some stuff on your channel and you want to drop some videos during the live show, connect with us, contact us, and let's make it happen. So we've got this great review coming up from A Week in Geekdom. Hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you after the break.
Welcome everybody to another exciting episode, another edition of A Week in Geekdom here on YouTube. I am your host, Giovanni Menendez, and today I wanted to review something very special, the first volume of Manifest Destiny. My gosh, this was an amazing, fun, spooky, and beautifully drawn comic. I fell in love with this. Of course, this comic is written by Chris Dingus, drawn by Matthew Roberts, and colored expertly by Owen Gianni. I hope I read that right. This is a beautiful book. It kind of reminded me, the art is very reminiscent. I don't know, even from the cover, it really reminded me of Terry Moore's work on various Image books and Marvel and all that stuff. It really reminded me of that style, but it is a very highly detailed art, a very highly detailed book, and it has sort of this cartoony feel, but at the same time it is quite graphic and anatomically correct that I really appreciate when you're telling a story that's basically out in the frontier with lots of nature, beautiful landscapes and all that stuff, and of course people of that era with all their military suits and clothing from back then. It just looks right and it feels like you're in there. It's so bright and colorful, even though there are some horrible things going on in this book, that it's really surprising. And that's one of the unique charms about this book. Now, what the heck is Manifest Destiny? Basically, in the very early 1800s, President Jefferson orders Lois and Clark on their famous expedition across the frontier of the then minimal United States to discover all those lands that were unknown at the time and interact with all the Indians, all the tribes and all that stuff, of course, with the famous Sacagawea. Basically, that's where the story diverts from realism into fantastical elements, because in this story, the president has heard rumors that beyond the frontier there are mystical, weird, and just scary creatures roaming around, and he wants Lois and Clark on this secret double mission of sorts to not only explore the frontier and, you know, seek out new lands and all that stuff, but at the same time uncover just what the heck is going on, and are these rumors true? Are there monsters lurking in the dark? I'm not gonna spoil it, but let's just say there are a few surprises here and there. Chris Dingus just writes wonderful characters. I really loved the bromance going on between Lois and Clark. It was just awesome, and these guys know each other so well. They complement each other. You know, one is very militaristic, the other is exploring all the recent encounters with wildlife, and of course this mysterious arch that they encounter, and subsequently all these fantastical creatures. It's really interesting. I really appreciated that there is this kind of evilness roaming around that involves flora and fauna, and it was really highly detailed. I don't want to spoil it just in case. I don't want you to see what it is, because it is such an interesting and clever twist on the genre, and sometimes it can be a little spooky, but in a good way, similar to books like Hellboy and all those other comic books where like the main purpose is not to scare you, but more like, you know, let's have some fun with these themes and with these characters and all that. So I really appreciated that, and I think all of you guys will love it as well. Manifest Destiny, a short read, it's only 6 issues. I highly recommend it. It is an ongoing series, so I can't wait to read volumes 2, 3, 4 and onwards. I really recommend it. Great art, solid writing. It's over too quickly, but that's a good thing because it leaves you wanting more. So if you like Lois and Clark, if you like explorations, basically this is the frontier version of Mass Effect in early America, if that makes any sense. So thank you guys. I will catch you on our next video.
How good was that?
That was awesome. I want to get that book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, same here. I'm
definitely
definitely super interested. Thank you again, Giovanni, for helping us out with that. Go to his channel, subscribe. If you want to help us out with any segments in the future, don't hesitate to contact us. We'd love to feature some of your stuff on there. It doesn't even have to always be like really super professional quality. We want it to be awesome. We want it to. His was great, but you know, don't let that scare you, intimidate you, or something. So.
The live chat's also mentioning there was a problem with the giveaway.
Yeah. If you're having issues with the giveaway, it seems a few people are having an issue where they hit enter, they try to continue, nothing happens. You just refresh the page, do it again, and it seems to work just fine. So, simple fix there. And at this point in time, it's time for us to move on to our weekly head-to-head contest. Boom! This is one that we are super excited about. This one is entitled IMDBeatdown. The rules are simple. We pick a genre, and we pick 3 characters out of a very specific genre that we then set head-to-head, boom, boom, and decide which character is the better character.
That's right. Or who makes the most compelling argument.
Really, that's all it comes down to. I'm going to pull out my idea notebook.
Good.
If I'm not mistaken, I won last week, which means I'm supposed to present the first character. So here is the genre that we're going with. We're going with sci-fi heroes.
With a twist!
Alright? It's not a twist, it's just very specific.
You're right. You're right. It's a twist.
Whatever floats your boat. Sci-fi heroes, we're following this definition of sci-fi, as you can find on the always reliable Wikipedia. It's a genre typically dealing with imaginative concepts such as futuristic science and technology, space travel, time travel, faster than light travel, parallel universes, and extraterrestrial life.
And here's what's not going to be included. No Star Wars and no Star Trek, because honestly, we're probably going to repeat this beatdown again, doing just Star Wars or just Star Trek, or a combination of the two. But we wanted to make sure we didn't include either one of those in this giveaway. In this giveaway?
No, in this contest.
In this contest.
Yeah, they're very, very broad and huge worlds. Obviously, there's a lot that can be talked about there.
Yes.
All right, so sci-fi heroes from traditional sci-fi movies. We're not going to have like Mad Max, Hunger Games, like dystopian, utopian futures. That's not included in this.
Not happening.
All right, this is space, time travel type stuff. All right.
So my first pick.
What now? It's my first pick because I won last week.
That's right. I'm sorry. Oh man,
I just said that.
Dang it.
My goodness, amateur tonight.
There's a lot you don't
My first pick. I'm going to go with plain and simple the who is commonly considered to be the most bad A of all sci-fi heroes.
Okay.
Topping a lot of polls around the internet and everywhere. Ripley from the Alien series.
Wow.
As being my first competitor in the IMDBeatdown. Ripley, I mean, she survived everything. An alien.
Yeah.
Multiple aliens.
Multiple.
Yeah. At least another bad movie about aliens.
Which we don't really talk about.
No, but I mean, Ripley is well loved. I feel like one of the earliest really awesome, strong female characters in movies also, which goes a long way. So Ripley is my first choice.
Okay.
That's who I'm going with.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, thank you.
My first choice is a little lassie from a show called Firefly named River.
Nice. Oh, that's such a good call out. Pulling out the Firefly big
Rivers,
right off the bat.
You know, she's got the right personality and the skill set, I feel like, to take on Ripley. What do you think?
I mean, it makes sense. She's been trained to be a killer.
Yeah.
Ripley was just a survivor
That's
more
true.
than anything else.
So the question is, could Ripley survive River's attack?
Yeah, and that's.
I don't really think so.
That's really what it comes down to. Yeah, I mean it's difficult to say. You know, I would think if we clarified as Ripley in like Aliens, Ripley.
Yeah.
I would say she'd put up a fight.
Oh, definitely. She'd totally put up a fight.
More, veteran experience. That would be the only thing I think would go in Ripley's favor. But if we're going head to head with the two of them, I think River's going to take that one.
I think River's going to take it.
If she's, triggered exactly the way she's supposed to.
We're assuming she's triggered.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
we're assuming she's triggered. If she's not triggered, I'd give you that one, obviously. But
I'd like to think that's a pretty tough one, all in all.
It's really close. It is. I'd like to know what other people think. So leave a comment down below and let us know what you think.
Yeah. So far, it's people going with River, unless Ripley is in the loader armor, which is kind of what I was getting at with the aliens thing. But most people are going to side with River, but I think it's a close one. I think we're all
really
agree
close fight.
It's a close one. But it looks like all right. So you'll take this first round of IMDBeatdown.
That's right.
So you go next. Who's your next hero?
My next choice is the unlikely, the unsuspected Marty McFly with the time machine.
You took my dark horse candidate right out of
Marty McFly. Whew. Marty McFly. He's a little bit of a punk, got a little attitude, and that's just what he needs to get the edge. And I'm just going to say this is Marty McFly with the hoverboard.
Of course.
Ready to rumble.
Yeah.
No, he's not a great fighter. But
he's crafty.
And he's got a time machine. So all he has to do is get away.
Ooh. See, here's the thing. I think I have the one who can match Mr. McFly
Do you?
in this particular situation.
Okay, who is it?
And this is, and I'm really proud of this one. I'm going to go with the kind of unnamed man known only as John Nada from They Live.
I don't even know who that is.
Exactly.
I don't even know who that is.
But I bet someone watching knows full well who that is. That, of course, is from John Carpenter's really campy sci-fi movie about basically his take on Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Okay.
In which a working class man played by Rowdy Roddy Piper finds special sunglasses that allow him to see that a bunch of upper class humans aren't actually humans but are aliens who are disguising themselves as humans in order to create a huge disparity in wealth.
Unbelievable.
And basically use subliminal messages to control humanity. And if you're familiar with anything about the movie They Live, you are very familiar with, of course, John Nada's signature line when he comes in and says, and I'll have to censor it because this is supposed to be a profanity-free show, but his censored line is, I came here to kick butt and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum.
Well, I gotta be honest, I've never seen this, so I'm really gonna defer to your complete unbiased decision here. But I will say, it feels really fitting that someone says, I came here to kick butt and chew bubblegum and I'm all out of bubblegum, would fight Marty McFly. Because their personalities are just so great. So, I don't know, what do you think? I mean, I think the real question in this fight is, can John get to Marty before Marty can get to the time machine?
I'm gonna go here. I'm looking at the comments.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be unbiased and everything.
Yeah.
I think he can.
Okay.
Because he is he's a gritty, angry man.
Okay.
Who's all out of bubblegum.
He really likes that bubble gum.
And Marty's crafty and everything, but if they were having to go head to head, those sunglasses are going to help John Nada see exactly who Marty is.
Okay.
You know, and prove that Marty McFly is a time traveler and is not supposed to be there.
Okay.
And John's going to get rid of people that aren't supposed to be there. Looking at the comments, a lot of people are agreeing with me that Roddy Piper and John Nada are going to take that one. So
I got to be honest. I know Rowdy Piper could take Marty McFly on any day of the week.
Yeah.
So that's I give it to you.
All right. Well, once again, and I promise that we don't script it this way.
No, we don't even know who each other's picks are.
Yeah, we don't ever reveal the picks. We just have to talk about it. You know, when we get here. So we haven't scripted it, but once again, we're coming into the final round, tied up 1-1, which I think is fantastic. Everyone else seems to agree. It's back to me to choose. And I picked out a lot of candidates in my idea notebook. I mean, this whole section here was writing down a lot of characters that I thought could possibly, and I had to whittle it down to 3 from there. Marty McFly was going to be one of my choices, but I had some good backups, and I'm really excited about this one because I'm going to think really outside the box.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with, as my final choice, Mark Watney.
Okay.
From The Martian.
Ooh. Wow, that is a good choice.
Not a sci-fi action movie at all.
That is a really good choice.
He's not an action hero, but the man survived isolation on another planet for over a year, I believe, is how it goes in the book, the movie, whatever it is. I read the book, I watched the movie, and liked it all. So, Mark Watney, talk about a true survivor.
No doubt.
I know he's not a fighter, but I want to see who you match up with him.
That's a good choice. My character's not... He usually isn't a fighter.
Okay.
But when he needs to get the job done, he always gets it done. He thought he was the last of his race. There's a few other Time Lords out there. I'm referring to, of course, the Doctor from Doctor Who.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Doctor who has the TARDIS, which is a time machine, much like Marty McFly. But where Marty fails is Marty has no skill in fighting. The Doctor has a sonic screwdriver.
Exactly.
He can disable anything that your character, Mark, can create.
That's true.
He could just zap it down, and if need be, get in his time machine, pop back to the past, and erase him from existence.
Wow.
I mean, if he really wanted to.
If the Doctor was a complete jerk.
Yeah.
That's a great choice. Actually, he was on my short list.
Was he?
I had about 5 names on the potential short list, and you picked 2 of them. So.
Well, great minds think alike.
Exactly.
And look alike.
So what do you think? We're going to watch one more segment. Yep. We're going to talk more about the giveaway. Gift card giveaway. I'm going to send that link out again if you haven't signed up. Because once we get back from that segment, we are going to start wrapping up the show, and we're going to start... that was a nice wrap-up motion.
Thank you.
And we're going to give away the gift card, so make sure you get that in there pretty soon. All right, so who's going to win? Doctor versus Mark Watney. I think I get an inkling of where it's going, because it's kind of where I'm leaning towards as well. I just really had to pull out a curveball.
Yeah,
but I really feel like it's going to go your way.
It was a good one.
All right, we're going to now take a quick look at... It's a brief... reaction video at some of the big news that came out of Marvel in the past week concerning, obviously, their giant project they've been building towards for like a decade, Infinity Wars. So it's the Infinity Wars. I had to say it clear. I mumbled it. So this is this is our quick little video, kind of our reactions to some of the things that we noticed. I want to hear from you in the comments about what stood out to you in that video as well. A little teaser that came out. Here's our video right now. Don't forget, we come out from this, we announce the winner of the giveaway.
It's happening.
So make sure you're signed up.
Yep.
By now, you have undoubtedly seen the teaser video released by Marvel Studios concerning production on the Infinity Wars. Of course, the video features Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, Robert Downey Jr., but along with that, we hear from the people in charge. We hear from the Russo brothers, the directors. We even hear from the president of Marvel Studios. So it's really exciting to see a little bit behind the scenes of what goes on with a project of this grand scale. This, of course, has been a pretty unprecedented thing to have 10 plus years of movies, all connected in a grander universe. It's really neat to hear a little bit about the big picture, and of course it's just exciting to see so many big names right there together. Finally. Now obviously this video isn't going to show us a whole lot of behind the scenes anything. I mean, production has only just started, but we get to see some cool concept art. We get to see the script kind of getting flipped through with all sorts of notes and additions. Perhaps most importantly, we get to see, you know, a giant Infinity Gauntlet omnibus sitting there with notes and everything in it. Makes it really seem promising that they're trying their best to stick to what was in the comics. So some immediate reactions from us here at SSD. Well, first and foremost, what stands out is the omnibus. We get to see that. We get to see the effort that's going into that to take that story and put it on the big screen, which is important in these Marvel movies because a lot of times it's just the characters being placed in certain situations as opposed to the characters being placed in comic book situations. Plus, it's really cool to see concept art that has Rocket Raccoon and Thor just right there together. I mean, the worlds are combining of the movies that we've grown to love in ways that we already loved through the comics. Along with that, of course, I mean, there's a lot of gravity to what happens in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. It has its really dark moments, obviously, and if you've read it, you're familiar with that. So I'm hopeful that these movies will stick with some of that. These movies will have more gravity to it. Captain America Civil War, for example, had a lot of potential to hit on some of the bigger, scarier themes that the Civil War comic book storyline hit on, not the least of which being the death of Steve Rogers. But instead, they went kind of the route that Marvel movies tend to go, where at the end of the movie, you look over and you're like, okay, all the heroes are cool, they're still all friends and everyone's okay. There's no real ramifications to what happens. So it'll be nice to see what they do with Infinity Gauntlet. Hopefully that trend gets changed, and hopefully there's real depth and gravity to what happens. But what I think is the most beautiful thing about having a 10-year-long movie project is that you get to put a bunch of well-developed characters on the screen together. You're not having to introduce a whole bunch of new people. At this point, we know who people are. We already love Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. or, you know, it's like a Johnny Depp thing where he kind of just is who he is and the characters are just based around him. And of course, we love the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like me personally, it might be my favorite Marvel movie of them all. So we get to see all those characters that are already well written, well developed, fully fleshed out characters. We've been developing characters on a huge scale for a decade. It's something that you've never seen before in movies. The strength of television shows is that character development gets to happen over years. Movies, we don't get that. And this is maybe the first time that we ever have actually seen a decade of character development demonstrated in what Marvel Studios has done. And it's going to culminate, it's going to come up to this. This is what we've been waiting for as far as character development goes. And that's really what draws me into this project and what got me excited seeing that video, because it became real that this has been a decade of growth, a decade of production, a decade of writing that's leading up to this. And that's amazing to someone like me who is, you know, really dissects movies, and I really like to tear them apart, break them down and look at them. It's cool to see that behind the scenes stuff. It's cool to see what has actually gone into it. And of course, it's just going to be crazy exciting to actually see the movie itself. So what stood out to you? Let us know in the comments what you noticed in this little bitty teaser production trailer thing that Marvel put out. What did you see? What got you excited? What are you most looking forward to with the Infinity War?
Man, I am excited about Avengers Infinity War.
I can tell.
I cannot wait.
Mm-hmm.
So, before we go ahead and give away the gift card,
Yep.
we're going to do that in a second, but I want to talk to you guys about what book we're going to give away this week.
Yeah.
We've got it here.
You want to show it right
Give
now?
them a look-see. The Starman Omnibus. Now, this, guys, this book is hype. Hype level maximum. If you were a part of the Valiant craze of 2016, let me tell you,
remember those days.
This is the new deal. This is the new hotness. And our good friend Beto Rios donated this to give away. Awesome guy, super nice.
Thank you.
What a generous gift. This book is in high demand.
Yeah.
So,
and we've got a copy that we're going to give away this week.
We're going to give it away this week. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to, if you entered last week's giveaway, we're going to do it the same way. All we need you to do is comment on any of our videos. Now, that could be this video that's live, but you have to wait until it actually gets posted. So if you comment in a live chat, it won't register.
Right, yeah, so not live chat right now. Once the video's done, feel free to comment on this one. We'll have a couple of extra videos coming out in the next few days.
That's right. Another Riverdale recap.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Riverdale again. We're going to be talking about a show that we both fell in love with after the first episode. Very excited about. You probably liked it as well if you saw it. Legion.
So good.
We're going to be talking about Legion. Those videos coming out in the next few days. Comment on those as well. One more thing, a quick caveat though. Make sure that you have subscribed to the channel.
That's right. Your comments won't be registered if you're not subscribed.
Yep.
Every time you comment on each video, that gets you an additional entry. So you can enter a bunch of times. Every video that we post, you can comment and enter. And once again, I just want to say, guys, I'm sorry. This is domestic U.S. only. Yep. We're too stupid to know how to ship overseas. So domestic U.S. only. Yep. But tonight we're giving a gift card away.
Exactly.
To anybody.
Gift cards available to anybody. We hope that you have registered.
That's right.
And that you are ready to go because we are ready to announce it.
I'm pretty excited.
I'm pumped too.
Tension's high.
Really?
Tension's high. Tension builds. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how to pick this winner here.
How to pick a winner, first of all. Some of the things that you can look forward to this week. We mentioned, of course, we're reviewing a little bit more Riverdale, which is thrilling.
Hey, I love Riverdale.
But we are, of course, talking about Legion. So in the comments below, once this episode's done, you tell us what you think about Legion if you saw it. Tell us your first impressions, all that. We do have someone, Cowfish spelled with a K, so maybe Cofish. But anyway, Cowfish does say that the Riverdale recap is what got him here. So
fantastic!
Thank you for joining us. I think the Riverdale recap is going to be a lot of fun because we aren't having fun watching.
Well,
the show.
You're not. I am. See, I got to be honest with you. I've converted to a Riverdale fan. I really like the show. Joseph, not so much. So it's going to be a really good recap video. So I got a winner here.
All right, here we go.
The winner has been decided. Can we get a drum roll?
No. Once again, producer has told us many times that we do not have that in the budget for a drum roll. Look here, we
don't have a producer.
She's so mad at you right now for always bringing it up.
We don't have a producer.
She's mad at you when you brought the Kickstart. She's mad at you now.
The winner, ladies and gentlemen, is Greg Tamman. Greg, you are the winner.
You want a gift card?
You did it. You did it. You really won. I'm a good dancer. I'm a good dancer. Tell me I'm a good dancer. I didn't realize we were done dancing.
Never should have started. Congratulations, Greg.
Greg, you're awesome, man. You've been a really huge supporter of the channel, so I'm really excited that you won.
Convenient enough, he just commented in the live chat, we appreciate your misery on Riverdale. So, thank you, Greg. You're now my favorite. You're my favorite watcher.
Greg, you slide.
Congratulations, Greg. You have won a gift card.
That's right.
Wow.
Again, I think this is pretty much going to wrap it up, but thanks to A Week in Geekdom for being a part of the show this week. We appreciate you. Go check out his channel and subscribe if you haven't done it.
Yep.
Special thanks to our guest tonight, Jane Austen.
Oh, yeah, a true master of her craft. Thank you, Jane. You are a lovely, lovely woman. If you want to donate any books to us, any action figures, any Funko Pops, whatever it is, next week we're planning on giving away, we've given away a lot of books, next week we're planning on giving away figures themselves.
Some real figures.
If you're into figures, don't want to miss the live show next week. But if you want to donate any of that to us, contact us. If you want to make a segment for us to be featured on the show, contact us. Let's talk about it. Let's figure that out.
That's right. Go follow us on Facebook.
Yep, that's Super Squad D Live on Facebook.
Yeah, SSD Live.
SSD Live.
Maybe Super Squad D Live.
You got Super Squad D on Twitter as well. Anytime a video goes up, you get that. Subscribe to our channel. We want to close it out with, last week we started doing 60 seconds of shout-outs, 60 seconds of stories, something that we've appreciated in the past week that we want to share. Doesn't have to be related to anything.
So can I start? I'm going to go ahead and give a shout-out.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about my shout out.
Okay.
I'm really excited.
Okay.
My shout out is, of course, to Avengers Infinity War. I'm just super excited. I loved the behind the scenes video. There was a section where they were looking at an Infinity Gauntlet omnibus. Looked like they were really focused on making this a comic book film. So a shout out to Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Pratt. I know you're at home watching this show. We appreciate your support. Shout out to those guys. Super excited about Avengers Infinity War.
All right, cool. And I was going to give a shout out to someone I appreciate on Valentine's Day, my fiance Ellie, who doesn't care anything about any of the stuff we talk about on the show, but is always very supportive in letting me do all this nonsense. So since it's just in the spirit of the season, big shout out to her. Thank you.
I would like to give a shout out.
I'm sure you
In
would.
no way a response to what you
Look
just
at
said
this.
to Jenny,
Oh my gosh.
my lifetime lover.
All right, sure.
Super glad
sure.
for you. This is a very original shout out, and no way a response to what he just said, and I don't feel like a jerk at all.
That's Tyler.
I'm Jenny. Wait, what?
This is Super Squad D.
The D stands for disappointment.